WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Ezra Brooks, hand-picked from extraordinary barrels, Distiller's Collection, sour mash, charcoal mellowed, come to that in a second. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 53.5%. This is 107 proof. This was actually barreled on the 20th of June 2016, and it is a German exclusive. So this is a store pick for Germany, barrel number 742688. All right, so we're paying 55 euros for this over here. In America, you're paying somewhere around $40 for this. So let's go through a little bit of the history here of Ezra Brooks. I'm going to use the website here from Bourbon Veach. So this is Michael Veach. He is the master of bourbon history, in my opinion. So the Ezra Brooks brand was created by 21 Brands. 21 Brands was actually founded in 1933 as a distributing company. And in 1959, 21 Brands decided to take advantage of the shortage of Jack Daniel's Old No. 7, and they made their own little bottle here. All right, so we had the Rat Pack in Hollywood drinking a lot of Jack Daniel's Old No. 7, and so there was never a real person called Ezra Brooks. It's a fantasy name. All right, so it was just created by the marketing department. They made a square bottle just like Old No. 7. The black and white label, just like Old No. 7, and they advertised it as charcoal filtered. Now, back then, this was before we had chill filtration. Many bourbon distillers took a handful of charcoal, put it up there before it went through then the filtering process. Charcoal filter, does it mean feet of the Lincoln County process, or does it mean a tiny little bit? I'm not even sure it has to be maple. All right, so who knows? Now, what do we have here? So they actually put that at 90 proof, just like Old No. 7 back then. Old No. 7, Jack Daniels sued them. They actually won 21 Brands in 1961, and that opened the door for many copycats of the Old No. 7. Now, in 1966, this brand, Ezra Brooks, was made at the Hoffman Distilling Company. Never heard of them. But I have heard of the people who owned it, Ben, William, and Robert Rippey. Wild turkey. So they only basically used 300 bushels of capacity per day, so it's fairly small. They called themselves Kentucky's finest little distillery. So in the 1970s and the 80s, it was a little bit difficult for brands all over America. We had a lot of the ceramic figure decanters then. So what happened is, in 1979, Medley Distilling Company, today Green River Distilling, Bradshaw Bourbon, Green River Distillings, acquired the 21 Brands Inc. and also Ezra Brooks. So the production shifted to Owensboro, Kentucky at the Medley Distillery, which today is Green River. So that's very, very good. Then what happened in 1988, Glenmore Distillers acquired the Medley Distilleries and their brands, and Ezra Brooks quickly became one of their flagship brands, along with Yellowstone. Yeah, you know that one. And also Kentucky Tavern. Okay, 1989, Ezra Brooks won a gold medal at the International Spirits Competition in London in England. And in 1991, United Distillers, today Diageo, acquired Glenmore Distillers, and the brand just become another bourbon with many other things in their huge portfolio at the time. So what happened? 1992, United Distillers sold many of the brands to whom? Heaven Hill. One time I said I don't really know of a single brand Heaven Hill ever sold. They sold Ezra Brooks. All right, so they sold it to a company based in St. Louis, Missouri, the David Sherman Corporation, which rather became Lexco. All right, so 2006, the David Sherman Corporation, owned by David Sherman Sr. and Paul A. Lux, became Lexco. So, all right. And they agreed, Heaven Hill, to supply Lexco with barrels. Even the master distiller from Lexco was at the Heaven Hill Distillery and actually produced some of these barrels. All right, so 2016, Lexco built their own distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky, and they will be making some of their own bourbon. So this was actually distilled on the 20th of June, 2016. The distillery opened in August, I think, of 2016, so this is still Heaven Hill juice. All right, very, very, very good. Now, of course, MGP bought Lexco, and now the brand Ezra Brooks belongs to MGP. That was a long story, wasn't it? But I don't know if you actually knew a lot of the history about Ezra Brooks, but I found it very interesting. And a tip of the hat here to Michael Veach. He is the historian for me of bourbon. Now, Fred Minnick is great, but Michael Veach is actually been around doing this a little bit longer. So what do we have here? We have a 53.5% beautiful, beautiful thing here from Heaven Hill. I don't have anything with 107 from Heaven Hill, but I do have a bottle of Elijah Craig. I assume that they have the same mash bill. This is probably a bit older, and it's also a bit young. It's a bit less proof. 53.5, 47% ABV. This is 55 euros. This runs around 34 euros over here in Europe. All right, so this is much cheaper, and I'm going to just add much better. So this is a store pick from Kammer-Kirsch. Kammer-Kirsch is the importer over here in Germany for Lexco, one of 3 actually in our country. They actually gave us the Rebel, the Distiller's Collection. They look very similar, don't they? At least the label. This is weeded. That's why I did not compare them. I was not a great fan of this. So sorry. Am I a great fan of this? We will see. On the nose, this is good. I get the typical bourbon notes. I get a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of pecan, a little bit of leather, a little bit of vanilla. Even a little bit of the sassafras. But it's got a little bit of a off note going on in there as well. A little bit of a mineral type of soggy wood moment. This, on the other hand, the Elijah Craig, is beautiful. A tiny, tiny little bit more complexity. I'm sorry, not a tiny bit. A lot more complexity. A little bit more of the sweetness. A little bit more of the cloves of the allspice. This is just, I really like this. Well done, Heaven Hill. Thank you very, very much. Ezra Brooks, well, thank you as well for giving us something special over here in Germany. That greenness, that little bit of a wood, that soggy wood moment really disturbs me. All right, cheers. I want to balance them both out at 47%. It's good. It's a C whiskey. Yay! Is it 55 euros? Nay. Really not worth that amount of money. This is worth every penny, in my opinion. Has a little bit of that birch sap moment going on here. It's got a weird bitter oak moment. All right, Elijah Craig. More depth, more complexity, more of this the allspice, more of a sweetness, less of the bitterness, no bad wood moment, complex, and overall a winner. This is a C plus, B minus whiskey in my book. This is a solid C whiskey in my book. All right, let's try this briefly with 47%. This has a better mouthfeel. There's a little bit more of a rye moment going on here. That bitterness has disappeared totally with more water. There's a tiny little bit of sweetness. This is a little bit more of the allspice, of the cinnamon, of the clove moment. This has a little bit more of a brown sugar pecan moment going on. They are almost equals at 47%. This still has the nose just a little bit ahead, the depth, the complexity, but this is actually at 47 good. 53.5%, not so good. This is a C normally and a C plus with water. Interesting. 55 euros, 20 euros less, 34 euros. 35 euros. Let's go for 35. 20 euros less. Which one do I pick? Of course, this one. Value for money, C minus, D plus. I'm a little bit picky. I actually did videos in my German for the best bourbons under 20 euros. Buffalo Trace 1. Best bourbons under $30. Wild Turkey 101 1. And best bourbon under $40. I actually forgot which one won that. Shame on me, Jason. Which one won my best bourbon under $40? Lot 40, not Lot 40. I'm sorry. Eagle Rare 10-1. So, yeah, what can I say? 2 Buffalo Trace products and 1 Wild Turkey 101. We can get Eagle Rare 10 for under 40 euros over here. It's amazing still, all right? And that entire time through all those bourbon tariffs, we could still get it. I just don't understand how much whiskey they had bunkered here, or why didn't people buy it, or did the companies actually eat those tariffs themselves? I don't know. All right, so this is better, but just barely. With water, this is not so great unless you put water in it. Then it turns into something good. I want to try this again. I want to do exactly what I just did. I'm going to try it undiluted. And diluted. Nah, not my cup of tea. And diluted. Well, I'll be. That the proof is the problem. Who would have guessed? I wouldn't have. All right. Wow. I get so much better with water. That is astonishing. Been a long time since I've had a whiskey change its flavor so much just by adding water. Very nice. Or also very bad with the 35.5% that they picked out here. All right. So question number 1. What is your favorite Lexco product? I'm going to go with George Remus and Rossville. Yes, I know. This is MGP juice. But hey, I don't think anybody's tried any of the real Lexco products, have you? So I haven't. None of it is made over here to Germany yet. So George Remus and also Rossville are very good Lexco products. Lexco was bought up by MGP. They now are calling it a merger. They weren't equals. There was money flown in one direction, so that's the way things are. But that's very, very good. And the second question is, if you can't answer that, since Lexco still uses Heaven Hill products, what is your favorite Heaven Hill product? And that's going to be a very, very easy one for me as well. Elijah Craig, Barrel Proof, the Bottle of Wow. All right, thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing. Thank you very much for all your support, and I'll see you soon. Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often trying and sharing and reviewing rare, single barrel for Germany, and exotic whiskeys. Bye-bye.